فاسألوا أهل الذكر إن كنتم لا تعلمون.
Imam Karim, welcome back. This is Pam from Georgia.
Sister Pam, how are you doing? Jazakallah khairan.
Well, I'm just as confused as ever. Help!
Oh, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala remove the confusion, Ya Rabbal Alameen. How can we help you tonight? How can we help out? Go ahead.
Okay. I'm not sure I'll get this all correctly. I see you on the screen talking, so I don't know if you're hearing me or not, but the sheikh was talking to someone the first night about the meat. Okay, he told the caller that they could eat the meat from the people of the book. Now, I had a medical issue, and I talked with my imam here, and I said, I've been told to eat a lot of red meat because of anemia and the blood and stuff like that. And I said, it's expensive here. Can you dip into Walmart or Publix or something like that? And he said he called a scholar in Chicago, and the scholar said, we prefer you stick with the halal. And I said, okay, that's what I'll do. So now I'm listening to the sheikh on 2 nights ago, and then he said the people of the book. Well, now, I don't understand this, because I know that the people of the book are the Jewish and the Christians, and they, the most of the time in the past, maybe they believed in one God, but now they're putting a partner.
Something here and walk through it, and I'm sure at the end of the day my message and his message will be almost identical, but let's establish something here first, the foundation of this, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says حرمت عليكم الميتة, the dead meat or the animals that died before being slaughtered is unlawful for you, is haram to eat. Is haram to eat. طيب, here is another verse. This one is the 3rd verse in Surah Al-Ma'idah. حرمت عليكم الميتة والدم ولحم الخنزير وما أهل لغير الله به والمنخنقة والموقودة والمتردية والنطيحة وما أكل السبع إلا ما ذكيتم. All of these are types of animals that died, which died without being slaughtered. Those are unlawful for us to eat. Another verse in Surah Al-An'am, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is addressing us by saying, وَلَا تَأْكُلُوا مِمَّا لَمْ يُذْكَرِ اسْمُ اللَّهِ عَلَيْهِ. Do not eat from that which Allah's name was not mentioned when it was slaughtered, the animal. Clear? By the way, this applies, these 2 verses apply to chicken, to cows, red meat, black meat, whatever you want to call it, all type of meats. طيب, now I want you to differentiate between the word Zabiha and the word Halal, because sometimes an animal or a meat that was not slaughtered the Muslim way can be halal. I hope I'm not confusing you here, but let's say this again. Try to differentiate between the word Dhabihah, meaning it's not slaughtered according to the Islamic way, the Sharia. Now let's try to understand what is the Islamic way. What do we mean by the meat being slaughtered Islamically or according to the Sharia? Number 1, certain conditions. That will solve the issue. So far we established something very important, that we're not supposed to eat meat that is not Dhabihah. It's called mayta. And this is what is meant by the verse, mayta is haram. Mayta is meat that is not slaughtered according to the Sharia. We use the word Dhabihah. Okay, what does it mean, the word Dhabihah? 3 to 4 conditions. Number 1, that the animal is slaughtered, meaning it was not shocked to death or drowned to death. That the knife went into the throat. This is condition number 1. We call this, for it to be Zabiha. Zabiha. Again, Zabiha, another word for Zabiha according to the Islamic Sharia. Number 2, the one who did the slaughtering is a Muslim or Christian or a Jew, with one restriction, that they did not mention the name of another deity while slaughtering. Number 3, the blood must drain out of the body after being slaughtered. So 3 conditions. Let's stick to that. So if you fulfill these 3 conditions, then that meat is called Dhabihah. Then it is lawful for us to eat. And this is what we must strive in principle to eat as Muslims. This is the principle upon which we move. طيب. There are 2 exceptions to this rule. There are 2 exceptions to this rule. Exception number 1, if a Jew or a Christian invite you to eat in his house or in a restaurant, if he invites you to eat in his house, let's say with the house, let's stick with the house, and he offers you meat, even though, that is the proper English here, even though these 3 conditions were not fulfilled, you can say Bismillah and eat. Remember I mentioned the word restaurant? I was teasing there. But these restaurants out there are not the people of the book. McDonald's, Olive Gardens, I'm promoting these on Islam QA. Hopefully they will send us some donations. We can accept it, it's okay. All these restaurants, they are not the people of the book. What is the wisdom behind this? You know, if a Christian invites me to his house to eat, and then he offers me meat. Oh, I'm sorry, I won't eat your meat. And you look like you're disgusted with his meat. How this will sound? You see, we're supposed to give da'wah to those people. And for this reason, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us to eat their meat. And I know, Sister Pam, you're saying, but the Christians at this time, they are overdoing it once it comes to Jesus and once it comes... You know, the same verse which tells us to eat their meat is in the same chapter where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, those who say that the Messiah is Allah, those who say that Allah is one of 3 are disbelievers. Surah Al-Ma'idah. And Surah Al-Ma'idah is one of the chapters, the last chapters revealed from the Quran. I hope you're getting my point here. وَلَا نَسْتَدْرِكَ عَلَى اللَّهِ. Allah is the one who revealed this. So, if a Christian or a Jew, that's the first exception. If a Christian or a Jew invite you to his house, to their house, not to the restaurant, to their house, nor the restaurants are people of the book, to their houses, to eat, just say Bismillah and eat their meat, and don't ask whether these 3 conditions were fulfilled or not. And how often this happens? Once or twice? What is the second exception? You're driven by a necessity. What is a necessity in our religion? Al-halaka, madannatul halaka. That you're about to die and the only available, you're about to die from hunger, and the only available meat or food which will save you is meat that is not Dhabihah, that is not halal to eat, not Dhabihah. These three conditions were not fulfilled. Allah tells you, go ahead and eat, but eat what saves your life. Don't fill your stomach. And that verse which I refer to, verse number 3 in Surah Al-Ma'idah, chapter 5, I believe, Surah Al-Ma'idah, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, حُرِّمَتْ عَلَيْكُمُ الْمَيْتَةُ وَالدَّمُ وَلَحْمُ الْخِنْزِيرِ وَمَا أُهِلَّ لِغَيْرِ اللَّهِ بِهِ. All these type of animals, all the types of animals which were not slaughtered, fallen down to death, or strangled to death, drowned to death, all of these. At the end of the verse, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, فَمَنِ اضْطُرَّ فِي مَخْمَصَةٍ غَيْرَ مُتَجَانِفٍ لِإِثْمٍ فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ غَفُورٌ رَحِيمٌ. If you are driven by necessity, you're about to die, and the only meat available, the only thing available to save your life, because you're about to die from hunger, is a meat that was not slaughtered. These three conditions were not fulfilled. Save your life. Go ahead. Save your life. That's the principle in which. Now, there is another question here which is so important, which we really have to bring up. Do we have halal or dhabihah meat available? Yes, we do. In every town in the United States now, in every town in the United States, we do have halal stores, dhabihah stores. Now, how in the world would you go to Giants, to Walmart, I don't know if they sell meat or not, to other stores, and buy their meat, and you abandon your Muslim brother who invested his money for you to have halal store? At least from that window, وَتَعَاوَنُوا عَلَى الْبِرِّ وَالتَّقْوَى وَلَا تَعَاوَنُوا عَلَى الْإِثْمِ وَالْعُدْوَانِ. You should go and try to buy from your brother, help his business. Let the Muslim money circulate in the buckets of Muslims so they reinvest it. I want to tell you something. Brothers and sisters in Islam, we live in the United States and we're not going to go anywhere. A lot of us came here and it doesn't look like we're going to go anywhere for the time being. We're staying here. If not us, we had children. We had children, and these children were born here. And I don't think they're going to go anywhere. Let's establish Islam here. Let's establish the religion here. You know, I have to say this, and I have to say this in a way that, you know, stating the truth. The brothers who follow the school of thought of Imam Abi Hanifa, rahimahullah, Imam al-Alam, they actually believe that they cannot eat but dhabihah. I'm going to tease you here, but I'm not ridiculing my brothers. I'm talking about the brothers from India and Pakistan, and that's where actually even so the madhab al-Imam Abu Hanifa is in other parts of the Muslim world, but this is where the focus is. Some of these brothers, you would ask him, brother, do you smoke? Yeah, sometimes, you know, I take a little smoke here and there. Brother, do you drink? Yeah, sometimes, astaghfirullah, but I do, sometimes, it's haram. Brother, do you eat meat that is not dhabihah? Astaghfirullah! No way, astaghfirullah. They actually believe that. That's, you know, all these halal stores that we have in the United States, I have to say this, it's because of these brothers. Because they believed that we have to eat Dhabihah. You see, there is a saying out there that says need is the invention. I think need is the, when you need, you invent, you come up with solutions. Because they needed to eat meat and they realized that the only meat they are allowed to eat is Dhabihah meat. That is why they started with these farms, growing the animals, then the stores. And imagine, that created a lot of jobs for Muslims. And now, guess what? Guess what? If we insist as Muslims to eat just Dhabihah, guess what? Giants, like it carries kosher, it will carry halal. Walmart, it will carry, don't we see halal meat now in some of these? Don't we? Come on, answer me. I know you're saying yes. Why? Because what if we just compromise? Just go ahead, طعام أهل كده, just eat, no problem, eat. La. Likewise, you know, the issue of homes and mortgage, and if we just say go ahead and own your homes by mortgage and take a loan from a bank ومش عارف ايه, make life easy for people, it's over. But if we feel cornered, I need to have a home for my family. Banks now are considering American banks, British banks, especially in Britain, because the Muslims there insisted that I want to own my home Sharia way. They came up with solutions. I think you're getting my point, dear brothers and sisters in Islam, dear viewers. We can't just settle and say, oh, it's permissible. Listen, there are some jurists out there in the Muslim world, and good, knowable, renownable jurists who said it's okay, just buy and say Bismillah and eat. And some students of knowledge adopt, they blindly follow them. But we live here, we know how it goes. Halal meat is out there. Go, look for it, buy it. And this is the way.
فاسألوا أهل الذكر إن كنتم لا تعلمون